Hello there, everyone. How you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/entitled parents, where the parents are so unbelievably entitled, you will never believe it. Now let's get started, shall we? Entitled dad tried to play Disability Olympics with me and ended up getting scolded by the staff. So, to preface this story, I have OCD and I'm on the autism spectrum. I have this weekly routine of going to a specific bubble tea place every Sunday, sitting in the same corner of the restaurant that's a little hole in the wall. Less noisy than the rest of the place, which is why I like it because I am sound averse. Usually, when I get here, it is occupied. But I just sit at a random table for a little while until it frees up, and then I move in for the rest of the evening until closing time. On the weeks I don't go do this, my anxiety flares up, and both my sense of time and my week are totally screwed until my next ritual time comes around. All the way on Friday. Yeah, OCD sucks. Today I arrived to this place and miraculously the spot on the wall was empty. The second I sat down, this random middle aged man just gives me a death stare from across the room, but went back to his drink and his kids. Two little hurricanes who would not stop running around and tossing balloons around inside the cafe. The girl, must be around 7 or so, eventually showed up at a little hole and crawled up and started playing with her balloon as I was doing schoolwork, being very loud and distracting, and having no sense of personal space. I am deathly afraid of scaring children due to my own childhood, so I just kind of stared at her until she went away because I didn't want to spook her. She eventually left. 5 minutes later, she comes back with her brother, presumably around the same age, if not a little older. Now, he didn't talk much, but there was something about his general energy and the way he was dressed, those glasses are strapped on his back, in that kind of way, and his face that told me that he was probably a special needs kid too. I repeated the exact same thing as before, just staring at them. But this time it didn't work. So I said, excuse me. And the two just kept on playing. And I stared at their dad. And when they realized, they scampered off to him. About a minute later, this grown man with his two little hurricanes comes back and starts asking me to let the kids play there, that there's enough space, and so on and so on. I tell them both that both of them have come dangerously close to stepping on my tablet where I do my work, multiple times, and that they're noisy and it's difficult for me to concentrate on my tablet where I do my work. He then pulls out the "Well, my son is autistic, though" card, which I knew, to which I replied, "Well, yeah, I'm autistic too and need my peace and quiet to be able to work. So please just tell your kids not to crawl into the wall right now." He started going off about how I was clearly less autistic than his son. Like, what? And that they deserved to be able to play. At that point, I kind of snapped and told him that it was terrible parenting for him to be using his son's disability as an excuse for them to be able to walk all over people, that this wasn't some kind of competition, and that his kids would still be able to play perfectly fine without disturbing me, as long as they stayed out of the hole. He got mad and for some reason decided to call one of the baristas over. He explained the situation as, "This brat won't let my kids play and have fun, despite the fact my son is autistic," and so on. The barista, however, knew me because of my frequent visits, so she just told him she doubted that and to keep his screaming kids in check and that their seats or they'd be kicked out of the cafe. He just huffed and scampered to his seat, and that was the end of that. I'm glad he got his instant karma, but geez, the entitlement of this guy to try and minimize my own disability just so his kids could be annoying freely. What that father is teaching his son is to use his autism as an excuse to not be accountable for his behavior. He is a poor excuse for a father. On to the next story. My dad won't let me move in with my family friend because of jewelry. Hello, how's everyone's day going so far? I have an issue with my pops trying to obstruct me from moving in with a family friend because he wears earrings and has braided hair. My pops comes from a very religious Caribbean background, so the idea of him seeing modern day men with earrings and long braided hair is classified as feminine and gay according to his own personal preference. I don't really have an issue with my parents, but they're very strict to the point where I can't do what most adults are allowed to do. Unless I lie or sneak out. I'm at the point where I don't want to be doing unnecessary stuff just to be outside of the house and away from strict parenting. I have decided to rent a place to move out from my parents so they don't tell me what to do because of their religious views. I have no problem with my family, but I got to a point where I can no longer tolerate my parents being extremely strict. I know I could still move in with my family friend, but what are some suggestions to do before I move in with him? You're 23. If you're in the USA, you're a legal adult. If you have the ability to pay for your own place, your dad can't do anything about it. Legally, anyways. The only way he could stop you is if you let him. Stand up for yourself or get used to being treated like a child forever. I'm just saying. My granny heard my dad while I was on the phone with me. For context, I, an 18th female, came home from babysitting my cousin and found my room a mess thanks to my siblings, and I asked the oldest siblings, since the others are 3 and 1, to help clean up, and I get yelled at by my dad. Excuse me. I called my granny, who lives close by, and made sure she's quiet and she can hear everything but not be heard. I tell my dad I was only asking them to clean up after themselves, as this is what he would say to me if I messed with their room. My siblings all share a room. He flies into a rage, roaring, screaming, and even grabs me while I'm crying in fear and screaming. He throws me on my bed and screams at me that I'm fine just because I'm not marked, and then storms out yelling about how I was spoiled as a child. I was, but I do try to ensure my siblings learn responsibilities and don't turn out like I did. He leaves my room to go back into the living room, and my granny tells me to come down to her for the day over the phone, and that I'm not coming back home to them for the day. I leave as I make an excuse why I have to go down since I usually go down after dinner. And when I say she called me, he tries to take my phone from me to probably see if I'm lying. I'm luckily able to leave without getting my phone taken away, but I did leave all my stuff there. Later, my dad calls, unaware that my granny heard what he had done to me, and acts like nothing happened, calling me for dinner. He's told I've eaten and I'm staying with her so he doesn't react at all, still pretending he didn't just hurt me hours earlier. Now my mother, who was at work all day, had to find out over the phone from my granny, her mother, what my husband does to her oldest child when she's at work. My aunt, my godmother, and mom's sister is crying because they have given me more support than my dad ever has. Note, he's my stepfather. He married my mom before my younger siblings were born. I live rent free. I babysit all my siblings whenever they need to. I deep clean my room weekly. I do all the laundry for them, and me and my mother are the only ones who take care of the dog. Update. My dad has apologized and is trying to be better, and I will have a talk tomorrow allowing me to say my piece in front of him and my granny as a witness and just in case something happens. I'm still not going home due to my mother. I returned home yesterday to get my stuff, my drawing supplies, and clean clothes. And once again, my room's a mess. I'm stressing and getting overstimulated. I have low functioning autism due to my room being a huge mess. Worse than the day before. My sister keeps telling me to calm down in her usual tone that means it's not my problem, so shut up. As I'm about to leave, I say that the state of my room just got me stressed because I'm going to be the one to clean it for my mother to say, "Well, if you were home, the wee ones wouldn't be in your room," causing a shouting match between my mother and Granny, making me feel like the dispute, despite the fact my dad's trying to be better, I still won't come home. You sound like a great kid, and it sounds like the sane members of your family love you a lot. This isn't normal. It doesn't mean anything about you. Asking an older kid to help you clean up is both normal and sensible. For real, you're 18 and should not even have to think about paying the rent in your family home. You've been treated like an unpaid servant for so long that all the abuse got normalized for you. My heart is honestly breaking for you here. On to the next story. My mother is ruining our relationship over me having tattoos. I'm a 32-year-old woman, wife, mother of two. I have my own home, my own car, a career. Well, you get the picture. My mom treats me like an actual child. My mother, 62 female, is very old fashioned and has a lot of childhood trauma that makes her think if I don't live or think exactly the way she does, that it's wrong. My sister and I got matching tattoos yesterday, and you would think that we had committed a murder. She kept calling my sister and I while we were out, basically harassing us and telling us that we're trashy and disgusting, and that we were doing this despite her. She also called me to tell me that I was a bad mother because I had my 1 year old in the stroller with me. But my sister and I took turns in the waiting area with him, so we didn't see anything. Not that it matters anyway. She does this kind of thing whenever I make a decision in my life that she doesn't like or agree with, especially tattoos, which I have 5 of. My sister says she talked with her this morning, and my mom wanted to apologize to me, but it sounded like she still had some opinions. I don't really care what she thinks at this point, and it's not appropriate for her to talk to me like this. I know she's my mother, and I do love her, but this is not okay. She can be so mean and hurtful, and I just don't understand why my decision making makes her go so insane. I don't think she's a narcissist, but sometimes it seems like she doesn't agree with my decisions I make in life. She's had a problem with everything: how I dress, my job, what family I married into, getting married, getting pregnant after I got married because I was too young. I was 26, by the way, where I live, how I need to lose weight, and so on. I am honestly at my wits' end. What is her problem? My entitled aunt corners me over not texting her on my birthday. Entitled EA is entitled aunt and OP is me. Okay, so like this just happened, but a bit of context for you all. I have an aunt on my mom's side married to her brother. We'll call her Aunt Karen for the sake of not doxing. Anywho, she has never truly liked me, and does a poor job of hiding it, whether it's making obvious faces and getting silent when I speak, showing how she's annoyed, or immediately being very short with me. This makes me tense, and I'm a person with BBT as well as PTSD and anxiety disorder, so not a good mix. Anywho, last week was my birthday, and a lot of people sent me birthday messages. I didn't respond to all of them because my sibling was taking me out trying to make my birthday special, knowing I didn't have many good ones. So naturally, I'm not going to message every single person unless I see it in the moment. And I'm not the one to text back immediately or even see it, and it's not malicious, I'm just bad with texting. This is what puts her on a warpath. She actually comes over, ranted at my mom while she was working, then went to find me. I was gaming with my friends when I heard Aunt Karen say, "LP, come here, we need to talk." I tell my friends, give me a moment, and head down where she's standing. And she has one arm against the table with her palm pressed in, and a hand to her hip, staring me down, blocking me in between the base of the stairs and the entry to the kitchen. There was no way to get past, only up. There is a sliding door that separates the entryway from the base of my stairs. This is important. She immediately goes off saying, "Okay, I messaged you and your twin brother sibling on your birthday, but you can't message me back." I was out all day with my sibling. I barely messaged anyone back. I'm sorry. It's at this point she goes on this huge rant where all her words are just slurred together, to where I just snapped and say, "Texting you is not my obligation. I don't have to apologize for it, actually, and I'm done with this conversation." She immediately is taken aback. I don't think anyone in this family thinks I have what it takes to do this. I'm usually the shy, quiet, and sweet one, but boy, oh boy, does she get pissed. No, we are not No, we are not. Bye. I then proceed to pull the sliding pocket out of the door frame and yell, I'm off to have fun with my friends. She opens the door and starts yelling, You get back here right now. No, no. Bye. Leave me alone. I know you don't like me anyways. It's at this time I'm shaking violently, and the anxiety hits me so bad that I almost pass out. But oh my god, it felt so good to tell her off. I know this will start some shit with her family, but I don't care. No one in my family really gives a damn about me anyways, and I'm over on the other side cutting off ties. I'm at the point where I'm done caring, even if my anxiety tries to take me down. I did some I did down anxiety meds, and my friends helped me calm down and give me a safe space. If she was downstairs listening, I don't give a crap anymore. I just was not going to take it. Even my dog hates her, and my dog is the sweetest being in existence. Would probably befriend a robber breaking in over her. Anyway, she does fit the entitled parent. She has a son, he's chill and probably will cut her off. She is a boy mom, definitely. Made him compete in all sorts of things, making him the best of the best. And she had, I can't pronounce that, Munchausen's by proxy, claiming that he is lactose intolerant when I've seen him down all sorts of dairy no problem, and made him be homeschooled. So there's your entitled parent context for you. I'm pretty sure half the family will be berating me, but I'm just going to tune them out. I'd rather not care than have uncontrollable panic attacks. I still don't know what came over me, but I'm glad I did it. I'm so glad you said you don't like me anyways. I think that would have stopped her in her tracks. Well done. And that's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all next time. Bye bye.